Recently, Anthropic released a brand new feature that I've been waiting for. Imagine creating a Claude skill just like you train a team member, by showing them. You record your screen while you're doing your job and you talk it through what you're doing, and Claude will turn that into a skill that you can run in your own time. This is an absolute game changer and it's a brilliant way to train Claude on how you want it to work. Up until now, there have been 3 ways that you could create a skill with Claude. You could upload a skill that somebody might have sent you, or one that had been open sourced. You could manually write in a skill instruction, giving it a name, a description, and some other instructions. Or you could simply ask Claude to create a skill for you from a task or a simple prompt. But as of late July, a new record your screen option appeared, and today I'm going to show you how it works. You'll find it in the Claude desktop app under the plus menu. Now, a couple of things to mention before you start looking for it. Firstly, it is located in the Claude desktop app only, so it's not on the website and it's not in Claude Code. And secondly, it's only available on paid plans, so Pro, Max, or Team plans. Now, it's built as part of CoWork, which is Claude's mode for actually doing work on your computer rather than the chat assistant. And I've done a full video on CoWork, which I'll link up in this corner. As soon as I hit record, all of my clicks, keystrokes, and most importantly, my voice will be recorded. And then Claude will turn all of that into a set of instructions and put it into a skill that it can follow along going forward on its own. And what's really great about this is it won't just repeat the clicks and keyboard inputs that you're putting in. It will work out what you're doing and why, so it will write up a skill based on that. Okay, so let's put this to the test and build our own skill with record a skill. Now imagine you've got a business that you need to do something like aerial surveying from a zip code or a postal address. I've got a few friends that need something like this. Now up until now, if you had to do that, it would be a manual task. You'd go to Google Maps or another maps provider, enter the zip code or the postcode, locate the aerial image and take a screenshot. And what we can do now is train Claude to do all of this for us and create a skill that is repeatable on command. So let's go ahead and start recording this. Okay, so let's go to Customize. We're gonna go Add, and you can see there's now a record your screen button. So I'm gonna hit record and it comes up with this modal, says your screen, clicks, typing and voice are recorded and then sent to Claude and turned into a repeatable skill. It does give you a warning, don't type passwords or secrets, and they'll come onto that a little bit later. You can see your little microphone button, so you can see it's actually recording what you're saying, and you can actually choose which microphone you want to pick from here. So I'm gonna start recording. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Google Maps and I'm gonna type in a zip code, 90210. Beverly Hills, and it's given me the area that I want to screenshot. So I'm actually going to hide the side of it. I'm going to move that into the center, and then I'm going to take a screenshot of the entire area. And that's what I want to have as part of it. So if I hit done now, it's processing and it says it's recorded 17 steps. So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so it's going through the process. It can see that I recorded a demo for 79 seconds. It's running a skill. It added a task. It's written a skill. And you can see on the right-hand side, it's created a bit of a progress list. So as it's working through, it's obviously processing what is in the video to be able to create the skill that we need. Okay, so it's come back after a few minutes. I can see it's drafted a skills file. Based on that. So it's done all this for me. It goes through kind of the workflow much quicker than if I would have typed that up. Now, if I save that skill, it's called Aerial Image Survey. I'm going to save that and then I'm going to go to a new project. And if I go then / Aerial Image Survey and I'm going to give it a postcode that happens to be Buckingham Palace's postcode and hit go, then it's going to hopefully open up Google Maps and to search for that postcode and create the screenshot. Now, the thing about this is that you should be able to do also batches of this. So you can give it 10, 100 postcodes or zip codes and it will go through and do it. So let's just run this and see how it gets on. Okay, so after a few minutes, I can see it came back with the screenshot of Google Maps over Buckingham Palace. And just looking at what happened, it searched for the postal code SW1A, 1AA. It managed to move all the stuff around. It did still screenshot the search bar and the tabs and the buttons, which ideally that wouldn't happen, but it did. Now, one thing I would say is it took quite a long time doing this. This one, I sped it up, but this screenshot took kind of 4 or 5 minutes, which is, if you were doing it yourself, you'd be doing it in less than 30 seconds. So it might be the kind of thing, if you had lots of these to do and you just wanted it to churn away in the background and do it, then that might be a good idea to do that. Now, just one final thing to note about this example is that you do need to have the Claude Chrome extension on. When I first did it, I didn't have it on and I didn't have it logged in, so it struggled to do it. So anytime you are trying to use the screen record function, you need to have Claude Chrome extension turned on. Okay, so another example where you might want to use this, and I have been using it personally, is if I want to go and get content or be able to scrape a website for something I wouldn't normally be able to do programmatically. So through an API or something like that. So something I do quite regularly is I go onto venues or competitors and I want to see their Google reviews. So I'm going to show you an example of going onto Google reviews and teaching Claude to go and grab those reviews and save them into a spreadsheet for me. So before I do that, I'm going to go to Claude and I'm going to hit customize. I want to create, record my screen, start recording, and I'm going to be on google.com and I'm going to type in Tower of London reviews and I'm going to click on the Google reviews button. I can see it's got 120,642 reviews and it opens the review modal and I can see all of them on there. I'm actually going to hit from newest first, and all I'm going to do is scroll down this list, and as more load, I want Claude to grab all of these reviews, expand them if we need to, and put these into a spreadsheet. And I want the latest 100 reviews for each venue that I ask for. So I'm going to save that, and it's only got 10 steps with this one. Let's let that process, and we'll come back once it's finished processing. Okay, so once that's come back, it has created a draft skill for me, which you can see on the right-hand side, but let's put it to the test. I'm going to save the skill. It's called Google Reviews Scraper. I'm going to go to a new project. I'm going to type in Google Reviews Scraper, and I'm going to choose another landmark in London. I'm going to call it Paul's Cathedral. Hit enter, and it will use that skill and what I've trained on it to then hopefully go and get the latest 100 reviews from St. Paul's Cathedral. So we'll let that run and we'll come back to it in a minute. Okay, so that took about 10-15 minutes to run, and I can see that it went through and it identified there were 56,000 reviews for St. Paul's, and then it did it in batches and it went through and got 10 reviews at a time, extracted them and then put them into a file which I can then access as an Excel spreadsheet, and I can see all of the reviews that are for St. Paul's. So in this case, this would have taken quite a lot of time to do it manually and copy and paste, but this will do it as something that you could do. You could give it a task and it will go off and do it and come back later and it's been done, or you could give it maybe 10 venues that it needs to go and do, or even you could set up a scheduled task. So it goes and does this every week and it might only go and get the reviews that are missing from that week. So this could be a really great way of keeping an eye on what your competitors are doing well, what they're not doing well at, or if you're generally wanting to do a bit of research about a venue and how they're performing. Now, if you've watched any of my videos on Claude Code, that you'll know I already use skills in many things across my life and work. Up until now, I've written skills out manually, but with this record a skill function, I can teach Claude a whole new level of skills to do for me. And my rule of thumb is to record the jobs that you teach somebody by showing them. You should still write out a skill for the jobs that you teach somebody by giving them a checklist. Now, this feature is still pretty new, and there are a couple things that I'd like to point out at this stage. Firstly, this feature is about a week old and it shows in places. A skill is only as good as your recording, so do the job slowly, narrate clearly, and expect to re-record once in every while. It does also take a little bit of time to process, which I'm sure will improve as the models get better. And I was running these on Sonnet, so I'm sure it would be a little bit better if I was running them on Opus or even Fable. And secondly, and nobody seems to be saying this, you are recording your screen and your voice. So before you hit record, close your email, close any personal information, and think about what's visible. The recording is how Claude learns, so that means whatever's on your screen is part of the lesson. So that's record a skill on Claude. Find a job that you do regularly that's boring and repeatable, and do it once with the recorder on, and let Claude turn it into a skill that can be repeated. I hope that was useful, and thank you for watching. I am super close to having 1,000 subscribers, so if you like this, then please do give it a subscribe, and I'll be doing lots more videos coming up soon.